In kinetic theory of gases, we have studied that a gaseous system actually consists of a large number of molecules at a given pressure and temperature. And these molecules have actually a large range of velocity. You have seen in the assumption of kinetic theory of gases that the molecular speed varies from 0 to infinity. And since there is a large number of molecules, so you can hope that there may be same speed of a large number of molecules. Even if we start with same molecular velocity of molecules, even then due to collision there will be a wide distribution of molecular speed at any instant of time because of random collision. So there was a very important problem before the scientists of that period, that how to determine the numbers of molecules of a perfect gas having velocity in a certain range. In fact, this problem was first of all solved by Maxwell in 1899. And after that, Boltzmann, using the theory of probability and ideas of statistical mechanics, put this theory on a firm foundation. And this is the cause that this is known as Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution law. Actually, in this lecture, our aim is to first of all derive the Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution law for molecular velocity of gases, and after that we will see the important discussions regarding this law. In fact, derivation or deduction of this Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution law of molecular velocity depends on several assumptions. Apart from the general assumption of kinetic theory of gases, we have to take some important assumption before the derivation of this particular law. So what are the important assumptions? See here. First of all, we say that the gas which is under consideration must be in thermal and mechanical equilibrium. And when you say that gas is in thermal equilibrium, it means the pressure of the gas must be same throughout. And when you say thermal equilibrium, then temperature of the gas must be same throughout. And when you say that the gas is in mechanical equilibrium, it means the pressure of the gas is same throughout of the gas. So it is a necessary condition that pressure and temperature of the gaseous system should be same throughout. We will see later on when these pressures and temperature will be not same, then what will happen. But till now we will consider that pressure and temperature of the gas remain same throughout. Again, we consider that the molecular concentration. When you say molecular concentration, what does it mean? It means the number of molecules per unit volume of the gas. This is also known as number density or particle density. This must be constant. N should be constant. It means in equal volume of the gas throughout must be equal number of molecules. After that, we consider that there is no mass motion, that is no bodily movement of the gas, although molecules are in random motion, but there is no mass motion or no convection current. After that, we consider that molecule has only translational kinetic energy. In fact, in the monatomic perfect gas, only translational degree of freedom is effective, and so we consider that the molecules of the gas has only translational kinetic energy. When you say that the molecules has only translational kinetic energy, it is obvious you are saying that the molecules have no vibrational and no rotational kinetic energy. Now finally, The most important assumption is that the probability that a molecule selected at random has velocities in a given range is a function purely of the velocity and the width of the interval. This is a very important assumption. In fact, when you want to calculate the number of molecules having a particular velocity or with a particular range of velocity, then what will be the probability of having that velocity, that actually depends on what is the velocity of the molecule and what is the width of the velocity interval. So this is actually the most important assumption. Now after this we will derive this law in particular mathematical form. So for this for the derivation of this law, now let us consider a gaseous system, and this gaseous system consists of total number of molecules n, and we consider that m is mass of each molecule. Since each molecule of a gas are identical, so we consider that mass of each and every molecule is same, and that is equal to m. Now if we consider that there is some number of molecules having a particular velocity v in 3D space, then you know that this velocity vector may be represented in velocity space, and in velocity space if you consider Vx, Vy, Vz as the coordinate axis, where Vx, Vy, Vz are actually the x, y and z components of the velocity vector v, then this v may be expressed as, you know, in 3D space a vector can be expressed like this: v equal to vxi plus vyj plus vzk. And if v is equal to vxi plus vyj plus vzk, then you know the modulus of v square, that is v square, will be equal to vx square plus vy square plus vz square. Now let us consider that dnvx, this is actually the number of molecules having velocity between vx and vx plus dvx. Remember one thing, when we say that molecules have velocity between vx and vx plus dvx, we don't think about the velocity in y direction and in z direction. We are considering only the velocity in x direction. So if this is the number of molecule dnvx having velocity component between vx and vx plus dvx, then what will be this number? You can see it. In fact, as our assumption number 5 says that the probability of probability that a molecule will have a velocity in a particular range depends on two factors. First factor is a function of velocity and another is width of the interval which we have considered. So the probability that the molecules will have a velocity lying between vx and vx plus dvx will be what? According to the definition of probability, you know dnvx is since the number of molecules having velocity between vx and vx plus dvx, and n is the total number of molecules. So according to definition of probability, when you will divide this dnvx by n, then you will get the probability px, which means the probability of finding of molecule having x component of velocity lying between vx and vx plus dvx. And according to assumption number 5, you can say that this probability px, which is dnvx by n, equal to what? As the assumption says that this must be equal to the product of function of velocity and the range of velocity or the width of velocity under consideration. So we can write that this probability px, which is dnvx by n, is equal to a function f of vx times dvx. Now similarly you can think about the velocity in y and z direction, in the velocity space. So similarly, the expressions for the probability that a molecule will have velocity components between Vy and Vy plus dVy, and Vz plus dVz are given as, in fact, in the light of equation 2, you may write these probabilities as you have considered that dn Vx is the number of molecules having velocity components between Vx and Vx plus dVx. Similarly, we will assume that dn Vy is the number of molecules having velocity components between Vy and Vy plus dVy, and dn Vz number of molecules having velocity components between Vz and Vz plus dVz. So what will be these probabilities? We will write the probability Py defined as dn Vy by n, and on the basis of equation 2 you can write it a function of Vy times dVy, and Pz, which will be defined as dn Vz over n, and this will be equal to a function of Vz times dVz, and say this is equation 3 and this is equation 4. Here you can see that the function f has been taken same in all these three cases. Why we consider this function same? In fact, this is due to isotropicity of the distribution or isotropy of the space. So the function f is same in all three cases, as our space is isotropic. Since the space is isotropic, so we imagine that the distribution in all the three directions will be same, and so the nature of function will not change, and hence we consider the function f same in all directions. Now individually you know what are the probabilities of velocity of molecule have between Vx and Vy, Vx plus dVx in x direction, Vy and Vy plus dVy in y direction, lying between Vz and Vz plus dVz in z direction. We have considered these probability actually individually or separately. Now, if we consider that if we have to find the probability for having these components of velocity of molecule simultaneously, then how you can actually find that probability? You know from the theory of probability that probability of a composite event is simply the product of the probabilities of individual events. So if we want to find the probability that molecules of a gas will have velocity components between Vx and Vx plus dVx, Vy and Vy plus dVy, Vz and Vz plus dVz simultaneously, then we will simply multiply all these probabilities. So the probability that a molecule will simultaneously possess velocity components in the range Vx and Vx plus dVx, Vy and Vy plus dVy, Vz and Vz plus dVz. According to the theory of compound probabilities, you may write this probability P as equal to Px times Py times Pz. And symbolically, we denote this probability by dn Vx, Vy, Vz by n. Actually here this dn Vx, Vy, Vz are the number of molecules having velocity components in those ranges simultaneously, and this will be equal to product of all these three probabilities. And you have seen this product will be what? This will be f of Vx times f of Vy times f of Vz times dVx, dVy, dVz. And so the number of molecules having velocity components lying between Vx and Vx plus dVx, Vy and Vy plus dVy, and Vz and Vz plus dVz, which I have denoted by this symbol dn Vx, Vy, Vz. This will be what? So you can say, so the number of molecules having velocity components between Vx and Vx plus dVx, Vy and Vy plus dVy, Vz and Vz plus dVz. This number is simply dn Vx, Vy, Vz. And from this result you can see that this will be n times f of Vx times f of Vy times f of Vz dVx dVy dVz. Actually, you can say this is Maxwell's velocity distribution law. But see here, the actual nature of this mathematical function f is not known. So if we will find the actual nature of this function f by mathematical calculation and use that particular meaning of this function f in this equation, then we will get exactly the Maxwell velocity distribution law. But till now, if you are not knowing about f, even then you can say that this is Maxwell's velocity distribution law. Our only task is now to how to find the actual nature of this function f. So in the next lecture, we will find the actual nature of function f by mathematical calculation, and then we will get exact mathematical form of Maxwell's velocity distribution law. Remember, this is Maxwell's velocity distribution law, not a speed distribution. Later on, we will see the Maxwell's speed distribution law. So you can say this is Maxwell's velocity distribution law. But actual nature of function f is not known, and as I have told you, in the forthcoming lecture, our aim will be to find the actual nature of this function f. One thing also is remarkable here. This dvx into dvy into dvz is what? This is actually the volume element in velocity space. You can see here, this is the volume element in velocity space, and this volume element is actually equal to dvx into dvy into dvz. So as I have told you, this equation A represents the Maxwell's velocity distribution law, and after getting the actual meaning of f, we will find what is the exact velocity distribution law proposed by Maxwell.